Today we are going to talk about chemical reaction, 5 chemical reactions: synthesis, decomposition, combustion, single displacement and double displacement. Before to get started, we need to remember that the following equation examples are unbalanced equations, because in this lesson the most important thing is how the elements are combined. The synthesis reaction is another form to say making, and that's exactly what happens in a synthesis. A compound is made of simple materials. Here is an example. Carbon comes together with oxygen gas to make carbon dioxide. We can see in this reaction that carbon dioxide is more complex than the two simple things that are carbon and oxygen. And here's another example. We take sodium and chlorine, and with that we obtain sodium chloride. Sodium and chlorine are simple elements, and sodium chloride is a compound. We can represent this reaction like this. A plus B produces AB. This reaction is the opposite of a synthesis reaction. Here, a compound is broken down into simpler compounds or elements. In this example, we have water, and it's breaking down into hydrogen and oxygen. Water is more complex than hydrogen and oxygen. Here is another example. Calcium carbonate produces calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. We can represent this reaction like this. AB produces A plus B. A fancy word for burn. When combustion happens, we need a compound with carbon and hydrogen, and sometimes oxygen, that combines with oxygen, and it will always form carbon dioxide and water. Here is an example. CH4 plus O2 produces CO2 plus H2O. Here is another example of a combustion reaction, and we can see here different numbers in carbon and hydrogen. Finally, in this example, we have oxygen plus carbon and hydrogen, and also produce carbon dioxide and water. This is the general form, and we can see here that carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen have different subscripts. Single displacement. In this type of chemical reaction, one element that starts out by itself replaces another element in a compound, kicking it out. Here in this example, iron combines with copper chloride, and iron pushes out the copper and he joins with chloride to form iron chloride. Here we can see an example. We have a very happy dancing couple, and suddenly another guy wants to dance with the girl. Then this guy kicks out her partner, and finally he ends up dancing with her. Here is an example. BaCl2 plus NaSO4 produces BaSO4 plus NaCl. We can explain this example like this. We have two dancing couples, and both girls want to change partner between them. So, when the music ends, they switch places and new dancing couples are formed. In this example, in the reactants, BA with Cl2 are one couple, and Na with SO4 are the other couple. And in the products, we can see different couples. Here we can see BA with SO4 and Na with Cl. Finally, you can observe couples with opposite ions. Summary. In the synthesis reaction, a compound is made of simple materials. In the composition reaction, a compound is broken down into simpler compounds or all the way down to the elements that make it up. Single displacement. In this type of reaction, one element that starts out by itself replaces another element in a compound, kicking it out. Double displacement. In this type of reaction, the positive and negative ions in two compounds switches places. And finally, in combustion reaction, a compound containing carbon and hydrogen and sometimes oxygen combines with oxygen gas to produce carbon dioxide and water.